Yeah, it's been really challenging for them because they're kind of following the US and
Yeah.
maybe a little stricter because they're saying no more than groups of 10,
Mm-hmm.
which, for Haiti, that's one family.
Right. Yeah.
There's been no church, which has
Mm-hmm.
been a challenge. But thankfully, our orphanage, where we have 110 kids or so, they're doing their own church. It's been really cute. They invite different pastors from the community to come and do church for them. And they've actually kind of arranged their own school. So they're doing really a great job. But one of our frustrations is we've got an entire newly built orphanage. There's kids that have been rescued, but the social services won't let them be released to us because of COVID. So they're being stored in a warehouse, and we can't get access to them until social services does that, which is all part of the COVID. So in our church, our pastors are, we still were able to get food in, which has been nice. We just got a container in 2 days ago. So our pastors are packing up lunches and dinners and going into the community and visiting all of their people. And so they're putting a lot of miles on their motorcycles and tennis shoes, but they're getting ministry done. So as the Lord would have it, I think the cool thing is that we have designed our ministry around being totally indigenous. So our teams add extra to our ministry, but they don't detract anything. So when they're not there, our churches still go on, our orphanages still happen, ministry still happens, all of our training still happens. So that's been a huge blessing for us.
That's great. That speaks to why that kind of a model is so important.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's the crazy thing is too, Christy, that not unlike in the 80s and 90s in Africa, when the AIDS epidemic was going through, it was kind of labeled as a white man's disease. Some of our communities have really have a pretty negative view of us. And so a lot of ministries there have just shut down. The white people have left, and basically ministry has stopped because of that stigma. So really praying that when things open up again, that we'll be able to get there.
So have they had a lot of cases? Like, how is their healthcare system and stuff doing right now?
Well, their healthcare system, as you know, is pretty bad.
Right.
And so they've had quite a few cases. It's really hard to know, I guess, is the bottom line. Is they've had a lot that have been reported, but still, I think they're just under 100 deaths for a city, for a country of 11 million. It's pretty small. But most of it that's happening is directly in Port-au-Prince, because that's where they can monitor it and all of that. And so most of the people that are being treated, I think you understand this term, they're the bourgeois. They're the more wealthy and more well-to-do, because they're the ones who can afford healthcare. Literally, there are 22 ventilators in the entire country. And there's 110 ICU beds. So even if it were to hit, it would be catastrophic. But because the people won't get health care because they can't afford it, if you can't pay for it, you just die outside, then it's pretty challenging to even know what the status of the COVID is. The hard thing to see through all of this, and I know you agree with this, is Jesus is behind this. That God is right in the middle of this, and what he does many times is crisis is what he uses to build his church. And we see it through our little bubble. But I think when the curtain is pulled back over the country or the world, that we'll see that the kingdom is bigger than when it started, and there's more people bowing the knee to Jesus than when it started. So I look forward to that. I don't know if we'll have the privilege of seeing that, but I know our God is good enough that that's exactly what's going on, because otherwise then this is out of his control, and we know that's just not true.